All right, the NFL honors just wrapped up. As you've probably seen on social media, Josh Allen, grew up a 49ers fan in Firebaugh in the Central Valley. He is the most valuable player. That was a very tight race. I do think it is well deserved for Josh Allen. Edges out Lamar Jackson. They both had exactly the same QBR. That was the second to last award. And then I wasn't surprised that Arik Armstead was nominated for the Walter Payton Man of the Year, or that he won the Walter Payton Man of the Year. But everything builds up for the MVP. And then I was just like, whoa, there's Arik Armstead, the former 49er who played for Jacksonville, still with Jacksonville, left after last season. He was nominated by the 49ers to be the Walter Payton Man of the Year winner last year, didn't win the league-wide award. It went to Dak Prescott. This year, though, Walter Payton Man of the Year, NFL-wide, goes to Arik Armstead. Congratulations to him. Had a great speech to end the NFL Honors Show, which just wrapped up. Those of you who followed the 49ers closely know that Arik Armstead was very religiously involved in the community. He's from Sacramento, so a lot of his community work is based out in Sacramento, and it actually stayed out there even after he signed with Jacksonville last year. But Sacramento and the greater Northern California area has benefited greatly from what Arik Armstead has brought to the table as far as his work outside of the football field. And although he did not win Walter Payton Man of the Year while he was technically with the 49ers, he has won it with Jacksonville. And a lot of the video that they showed up on the screen at the NFL Honors in New Orleans ahead of the Super Bowl was taken from Arik Armstead's time with the 49ers. So I thought that was a really neat touch there at the end of the show. You know, Steve Gleason, the former Saints player who has been crippled by ALS, was up there to present alongside his former teammate Drew Brees, obviously both New Orleans Saints in the town that they played in, right, all those years. And it turned into a really emotional ending to the NFL Honors Show, with Josh Allen winning the MVP, Arik Armstead winning Walter Payton Man of the Year. Armstead had a good speech, and George Kittle, a little bit before that, he is the winner of the USAA Salute to Service Award for the work that he's done with our troops. So congratulations to 49ers tight end George Kittle, who is in talks with the 49ers on a contract extension. We talked about that earlier this morning, but I know that winning this award for George and for his family, a very, very big deal. We can go through the rest of the awards at the NFL Honors today, starting with the four players that made the 2025 Hall of Fame. Eric Allen, the defensive back. Tight end Antonio Gates, most touchdowns of all time from the tight end position. Jared Allen, the defensive end, and Sterling Sharp, former Green Bay Packers receiver. All four of those players were honored today at the presentation in New Orleans. The rest of the awards, the 49ers have had a big stake in these awards in years past. Obviously not as big of a stake this season, although George Kittle and Arik Armstead, the former 49er, almost got the 10 years with the 49ers, didn't quite get there, 9 years with San Francisco before he left the Jacksonville. So there was a 49ers theme there toward the end of this award show, but unlike the 2023 cycle, when Christian McCaffrey, Offensive Player of the Year, Brock Purdy and McCaffrey were MVP finalists. Nick Bosa, the year before that, was the Defensive Player of the Year. The 49ers did not have that kind of presence in this show, but we can go through the awards and we'll end up with MVP, and we'll talk about Josh Allen beating out Lamar Jackson for that penultimate award of the night. Trey Hendrickson, the Deacon Jones Award, that goes to the player with the most sacks on the season. He had 17 or 17 and a half sacks. Then you had the FedEx Aaron Ground Award that went to Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey last year. Well, this year, the FedEx Air Player of the Year is Josh Allen. Jamar Chase was the FedEx Ground Player of the Year. Jaden Daniels, Rookie of the Year. Ben Johnson, Assistant Coach of the Year. Jaden Daniels, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Saquon Barkley, Offensive Player of the Year. Joe Burrow was the Comeback Player of the Year. Jared Verse, the defensive rookie of the year. Pat Surtain, the great cornerback of the Denver Broncos, the defensive player of the year. Kevin O'Connell of the Minnesota Vikings, the coach of the year. And then, of course, Josh Allen, the most valuable player. Now, this MVP race was going to be fascinating, and it captivated a lot of people. There were so many spirited debates over the course of the season. This is voted on by the Associated Press after the end of the regular season. So nothing that happens in the postseason counts. I know that Josh Allen's team did beat Lamar Jackson's team in the divisional round when the Bills beat the Ravens. But, I mean, it was a Mark Andrews drop that prevented that game from probably going to overtime, right? So it was really hard to, even with that, even if that were a tiebreaker, it wasn't. But even if that were a tiebreaker, it would have been hard to use that divisional playoff game as a fair one. Speaking of tiebreakers, I think that we really needed one. Take a look at the 2024 NFL QBR leaders. I'm going to put this up on the screen. This is the ESPN proprietary stat, but we go to the 2024 regular season. They actually must have recalculated it because it's not a dead tie anymore. This is funny. This was a dead tie at the end of the regular season up on the page, but now that the recalculation has happened, I guess it's fitting because Josh Allen did edge out Lamar Jackson for MVP, and Allen edged him out in QBR. 77.3 to Lamar Jackson at 77.2. I've got to find the final vote tallies because this one was really close. One of the closer MVP races that we've ever seen. I'm not an MVP historian, but I do know a close tally when I see one. Josh Dubow of the Associated Press has the full tallies, so I could read it off of his Twitter. Josh Allen, 383 points after the voting with 27 first-place votes. Lamar Jackson, 362 points with 23 first-place votes. And then Josh explains, here's how the voting went down for MVP. I'm going to read through what Josh said, see if we can make it make sense. Jackson got 30 of the 50 first-team All-Pro votes. Allen got 18 and Joe Burrow got 2. So Lamar Jackson won the All-Pro voting. But MVP is a little bit different, right? And voters treat it as being a little bit different. Don't make it make sense because it might not make sense. But Josh Allen had 27 MVP first-place votes, and Lamar Jackson had only 23. Jackson got 12 first-place votes to 1 for Allen for Offensive Player of the Year. So, but 9 voters picked Jackson first for Offensive Player of the Year, and 9 voters picked Allen first for MVP, is what Josh Dubow wrote. So basically, you've got different awards, and it's all subjective, right? Last year, Christian McCaffrey won the Offensive Player of the Year. I think he was ahead of Brock Purdy in the final MVP tally, but I can't remember. MVP, I thought Josh Allen's speech was a really good one there at the end. I think he really emphasized that this is a team award. Everything that happens in football happens on the team level, right? I think people on social media often forget the team context. It's, in 2023, Christian McCaffrey lifted up Brock Purdy and Brock Purdy lifted up Christian McCaffrey. It's a mutual thing. And whenever somebody wins an award like this, I really do appreciate when they do emphasize the team aspect of things. And that's what Josh Allen did. Really emotional moment there with his parents, both in attendance, flew all the way to New Orleans from the Central Valley. Firebaugh, obviously the hometown. Josh grew up a 49ers fan. Yes, that was the Jeff Garcia era. So he becomes yet another person affiliated with the 49ers or who grew up a 49ers fan to become the MVP. 49ers fan, Tom Brady won several MVPs, right? Now you look at Josh Allen, grew up the 49ers fan in Firebaugh, and then obviously Joe Montana and Steve Young. Think our 49ers fans now, they might not have grown up 49ers fans, but 49ers fans now, after Hall of Fame careers with the team, all part of the 49ers QB legacy, even if Josh Allen or Tom Brady did not wear the jersey for the team. The Kittle speech was a really nice one, and that ties into the news that we had earlier today. I made a whole video about it. 49ers are negotiating a new contract. George Kittle and his representation has been in talks with San Francisco for the contract extension. The high water mark right now is $17 million per year. Travis Kelce has the largest deal. George signed what was the biggest deal at the time back in 2020, $15 million per year. He is far and away the most efficient tight end in the NFL. And whatever they come up with the 49ers is going to keep George Kittle, I would hope, with San Francisco for the rest of his career, but B, it's definitely going to keep him there for 10 years. Started in 2017. You got to keep him there through I think the 2026 season. It's going to be season number 10 for George Kittle. That you get your name up on the wall in the hallway as a decade-long 49er. And not a lot of players are able to stick around one team for that long. It takes a hell of a lot of longevity just to have a 10-year career in the NFL, and then a hell of a lot of luck to be able to have that 10-year career with one team. So this contract extension that George Kittle will sign with the 49ers at some point this offseason is going to virtually assure that he's a 10-year 49er. That's a very, very big deal to John Lynch. He talks about that all the time, and Kittle did win that USAA Salute to Service award today. So those were the NFL honors. We can open this up for a few minutes to a 49ers Q&A. It was an interesting night at the NFL honors for sure. And we do have to say that this show is brought to you by Public Rec, the game changer pants from Public Rec, the ones that can be formal or they could be as comfortable as sweatpants. Usually when you order comfortable pants, you only get to pick from small, medium, large, and extra large sizes. But with Public Rec pants, and this is what makes them fit so well, you get to select the exact width and length that you need. Whether you're a 30 by 30 or a 44 by 36, you can find your perfect fitting pants. So this February, treat yourself right because comfort is always in season. Upgrade the Public Rec and feel the difference. For a limited time, you can get 20% off at Public Rec by using the code Lombardi at checkout. Just head to publicrec.com, use the code Lombardi, and you are all set. Oh, and when they ask you how you found them, be sure to mention our show. It really helps us out. Find your perfect fit and never compromise on comfort again. Public Rec, where comfort rules. On to the Q&A. I'll just answer a few today. This is a quick little update for you guys from the NFL honors happening a couple days before the Super Bowl in New Orleans. See if Mike has anything for me. No, he's got the Hall of Fame class. We went through those, and now we will talk about whatever you guys want to. If you have good questions. Yep, only 4 Hall of Famers in this class. Not a whole lot. The year after Patrick Willis made it in 2000 and, well, technically 24 last year, but after the 2023 season. Do I think Purdy should have at least won Comeback Player of the Year last year? I mean, he had a strong case. That was the DeMar Hamlin year, right? So, I mean, I think you could understand that. But Brock Purdy, he tops in QBR last year. Quarterback is the most important position. It generally goes to the best quarterback unless somebody makes a completely staggering case from another position. There has been a bias against Brock Purdy throughout all of this. He had to be perfect. Was he perfect? No. Has there ever been a quarterback that's been perfect in this season? Also, no. If he would have last year had that game against Baltimore, the bad game earlier in the season, Brock Purdy probably wins the MVP. It was just tough because it was right there toward the end of the regular season. It was the second to last game. I think they finished up against, no, it was the third to last game. They finished up against the Rams, but the second to last game that he played. So it was a tough closing statement for the 49ers. Mike says that McCaffrey should have won the MVP. 49ers call him the MVP. I get it. McCaffrey was awesome. The problem is, it's like, how are you defining this? Because if this is strictly by the definition of the word, Purdy is more valuable than McCaffrey on the field. Quarterback is more valuable than the running back or even a receiver or even a multidimensional weapon. McCaffrey, you could say, might be the better player, but as far as value goes, just go back to the NFC Championship game when the 49ers played the Eagles and Purdy got hurt. McCaffrey gets hurt in that game, 49ers still have a chance to win. Once Purdy gets hurt in that game, 49ers had no chance to win. So just by the nature of how football is set up, quarterback is more valuable. I think definitely Purdy and McCaffrey were more deserving than Lamar Jackson last year. And this year, Lamar Jackson put up a much better case. Ironically, his case this year was much, much better than it was last year. But this is the year that Jackson won instead of this is the year Jackson didn't win, right? He had a better case this year and he didn't win this year. He had a much worse case last year and he won last year. So make it make sense. There's subjectivity all around. That's just something we have to deal with. It's entertainment at the end of the day, and we have to take it for that, especially with these awards shows. You're going to lose a lot of objectivity when you're starting to define what valuable means and what player of the year means. And then these are determined by voters, by AP voters, some of whom I feel don't really closely watch certain teams. So it's better than it is in college football, where you've got teams on the West Coast and the East Coast Riders dominating the Heisman voting. Christian McCaffrey was snubbed out of the Heisman Trophy back in 2015. He definitely should have won that over Derrick Henry. But at the end of the day, you just have to throw your hands up and say, hey, it's award season. Let's have fun with it. Let's debate. Let's banter back and forth. And let's not take it too seriously. That's why I circle back. And I think it's cool that they put this award last, the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, because that's the one that involves community service. The 49ers nominee this year is Curtis Robinson, the linebacker. Their nominee the year prior had been Arik Armstead. And congratulations to Arik for winning the whole thing this year, succeeding Dak Prescott, who won that award back in 2023. All right, that's it. Josh Allen, MVP, edges out Lamar Jackson, similar to how he edged out Lamar Jackson in the QBR rankings. I mean, that's still wild to me, seeing that final ranking with QBR 77.3 to 77.2. Well, he edged out Lamar Jackson in the voting as well. George Kittle, USAA, salute to service. Busy 49ers news day. Another one coming up tomorrow. Everybody, thanks for watching. We will talk to you soon.